Now, you know, I'm a big fan of old photographs, but I gotta tell you a story this week. That's right, we're gonna do some reminiscing this week. This is the Daily. Pictures of the past. The music is loud. But first, I was on the newspaperarchives.com looking through old stuff, doing my research. Typical day for me, finding stuff to do a vlog with. I found a hidden gem in the 1980s Titusville Herald. You know, when you're growing up, sometimes as a kid, your parents don't tell you everything that happened. Well, I found this in the Titusville Herald. Listen, as my dad used to say, man finds dandelions in his yard. On Tuesday morning, 2 days before Thanksgiving, Larry Rigby of Pleasantville stopped by the Herald office carrying 2 dandelions he found in his yard. In June and July, this presence of the dandelions in your yard would not generally thought as of a cause of celebration, if I could ever read. But late in November, they are a welcome sight. 1980s Herald. That was my dad in the 1980s. Have you ever read something in the paper that you didn't know about your family? Dandelions. Woo! I gotta show you something though. Why did I show you 210 West Central Ave? Because this was the former Coca-Cola plant in Titusville till 1955.
November 5th, 1955.
That's insane. Now, I couldn't find the building picture of when it was the Coca-Cola plant. But look at this ad right here. I found that in the 1954 edition of the Titusville Herald. How awesome is that? But someday, I will find a pic of the old Coca-Cola plant. I will.
Digital phantom in the wires, haunted by electric fires.
But this week, I got all the pictures and all the history of what I'm gonna show you. It's insane on how I get wrapped up looking at stuff, and I have to show you guys because it just blows my freaking mind about how Titusville used to look. You Titusvillians know what I'm talking about.
Echoes of ones and zeros scream in this endless digital dream. Fragments of my mind collide, lost.
I'm standing at the corner of Martin and East Central Ave. You know, in 55 years, this place has dramatically changed. If you left town years ago, you wouldn't even recognize this corner anymore. Currently, September 2025. And I'm gonna put it, woo, I'm pulling Marty McFly on you. Take you back in time. With pictures and history on what in the world is going on? What I'm trying to say here, I'm gonna show you pictures and tell you history on what has happened here in the last 55 years. Thank you. No horns. Old Earl Yingling from Titusville, back in the day, boom, started a camera shop in town. He started a tradition of taking pictures of the buildings in town, and when they disappeared, he'd take the new picture of the building putting up, or if it burnt down. He started this tradition of documenting the town's history, I should say. Rest in peace, Earl, but I'm gonna keep Earl's tradition going on and tell you the story of on Martin and East Central Ave. Too many East and West here. 5 decades ago, Earl took this pic of the E.T. Hall Furniture Store, where Rite Aid sits now. Well, the defunct Rite Aid is gone. But 5 decades ago, the E.T. Hall Furniture Store sat here. Earl snapped this shot on the corner where I was standing. And Earl commented there was a porch right here. So when it rained, people would just go underneath it and waited for the rain to quit. Heard my name, I don't know who it was. Think about this. Right here would be a roof. where the old furniture store was. If you swing around, the building would be right here where this bush is. It's crazy how time changes stuff. But all right here was a roof covering right through here, around here was the whole big furniture store. It went to this angle right here. But here's the crazy part about E.T. Hall Furniture Store. Old Earl said the place burnt to the ground. He didn't have any pictures of it burning the ground. But basically they just leveled the place and it was empty for a while. Who knows? Earl didn't say how the E.T. Hall Furniture Store burnt down. Time progresses. And then what do you know happens? The old Loblaws comes in. Basically where the old furniture store was, but way smaller. So, you know, they kind of cut it down where they had the parking on the side there. This really is a nice little area in the middle of the road. I never realized how nice this was, but I gotta switch positions here. And you know how grocery stores are. If they're owned by one company, they have all these funny names for grocery stores. They changed the name to Riverside. And they had the same parking, same size building, but they took the door out and they moved it over here, which is crazy. But Riverside did a real evil thing. You know, too, Earl didn't have a picture. Everyone changed names to Quality. But at one time and point, Titusville had two Qualities in town. And no, your eyes are not deceiving you. Where I'm standing was a Dog and Suds. With the old Rite Aid. People say like that. Rite Aid, thank you, is now. This is where the old Dog and Suds was. This cup come from this location right here. Think about how insane that is. It's crazy how times change. I promise I'll get the Rite Aid. I promise. That's right. I'm sad about it, but a Dog and Suds sat here from the early 60s to about 79, 80, 81. They tore it out of here. But you want to see proof of the Dog and Suds here from the other side of the street? Helen Hoyson snapped a picture from her apartment balcony over there before Central Towers was built. Check out this pic. Now, I can't climb up Central Towers, or I don't even know anybody who lives there. Well, that's not true. I know one person. But up in the balcony of her apartment building, she snapped a picture of this shot. Riverside tore the old Dog and Suds out for more parking for the grocery store because they added on to the deli, or they did something. They expanded basically the Riverside / Quality back in the day. So the old Dog and Suds was a victim of progress, is what they say. Now the physical therapy building. The history on this is brief, but I do have a picture of what was here before this building was here. I spent some time here in the physical therapy building. When I blew my back out. I'm good now, but if you've been watching me for a long time, I documented my back pain. Yeah, 4 discs. It's not fun. It is well documented in my travels. I documented the teardown of Perkins and the birth of the Taco Bell here. But I had to go all the way over the corner. Years ago, the old boron station stood here. And they tore it down and it became a lawyer's office with a realtor in it. Then it just became physical therapy. Think about the time and change. At one point, people were getting gas here. Seriously. Now they're getting their legs stretched. I recently found some sweet people that watch me. They asked for a request on my behalf to find them, forgive me if I got this wrong, their grandparents owned a boron station at the end of town where Monroe Muffler is now. It took me almost a year to 2 years to find the picture, but they requested me find that picture because it was in their family. Well, I found it. And I also found a picture of the old powder horn. You know how hard it is to find pictures of the old powder horn in Titusville? Seriously. Okay. Back to Rite Aid. Come on. Old Earl. Come all the way over here to get the pick for this Rite Aid. Clinton. Defunct Rite Aid. When Rite Aid come in. Whoops, sorry buddy, off the camera there. Now defunct Rite Aid. The Titusville Hospital bought this property. I have no clue what they're gonna do with it. How times have changed. Seriously, how 55 years can change time. That Martin and Central Ave has changed scenery so much. It's insane. Photo bomb. And yes, people, you know I'm not Wikipedia, so I can't tell you every fact. I wish I could. I wish I could go back in time and pick old Earl's brain, because that man was a legend. And did you know this was a firehouse and then a Pierce Arrow dealership? The first car sold in Titusville? Yeah, I could do that building too if I wanted to. But Titusville has a lot, and you see it, comments from a lot of people. Titusville has changed in the past 20, 30 years where you wouldn't even recognize certain streets. And it's true. So that's why I'm here to document it for you, because I don't want to forget the past. I'm just saying. The more you know. You know, fun fact too, I gotta tell you. Dog and Suds? Dog and Suds. The downfall of the fast food place. Strange, ironically, weird situation. They changed the flavor of their root beer. And it was one of the factors that killed the Dog and Suds fast food chain. It's insane. That's like McDonald's changing their Coke. They would lose my business, because that's the only thing I ever actually buy from McDonald's. So those were the days.
Those were the days, my friend.
When I needed to clean my car out, and when I visited the Martin and Central Avenue corner in Titusville. Changed since the last 55 years, but if people that moved away or were curious about things going on, that's what's going on that block. And I've documented Perkins through my vlogs through the 3 years I've been doing the Daily Joe here.
Digital phantom in the wires, haunted by electric fires, seeking solace in the stream, trapped inside a pixel dream.
This is an aspen. You can tell that it's an aspen tree because of the way it is.
This is a daily.